Well, hello everyone. This is Patrick White from the Vulcan Treasure Society. And there's just a few things about burying treasure and my feelings thus far about it that I just want to point out and discuss here a little bit. As you all know, I plant things in places where I think someone will eventually find it. And you never know how long that may be. I've also included my VTS card, laminated of course, and most recently a USB card with my videos and photos, and I have plans for other information. Hold on a second, it's kind of stuck in here. Let me step outside for some fresh air. Alright, there we go. One of the most important things I have learned is that water and moisture are the enemy. You should deeply consider the container you use, and a Ziploc plastic bag is the worst choice ever. I don't care if you put it in a bag inside of a bag inside of another bag, unless it is in a nice container. The bags will fail, and the note you left in it will be destroyed, even if it's laminated. Another thing to consider is the relative density of the container. And if it is an airtight container, depending on how heavy it is, will determine on if it will eventually sink or whether it will work its way to the surface if the area is flooded. Now, if you live in the desert, the soil does not retain moisture like it does in most other places. And believe me that moisture will absolutely destroy some of the flimsy dime store boxes within a few months. So another thing to consider is that you do have limited control over the TID numbers that the finder will see. Now, in the beginning, I thought making more valuable boxes a little bit harder by maybe putting some canned slaw over the top, and then realized that some of the boxes I was using, they actually had small metal hinges or even staples and nails that would contaminate the signal as well. So to help counter this, you could put a quarter over the top to help attract a dig, or do something even as evil as scatter a few BBs over the top, to frustrate the digger. It all depends on how you want to do it. Also, keep in mind, any destruction that may come from anything you're seeing. I've had nightmares about hordes of people digging the place to shreds looking for what I buried, but fortunately, nothing like this has happened because I'm just not in the same league as Forrest Fenn. Now, I started the Vulcan Treasure Society with the intention of the finder knowing why and by who the treasure was buried, so hopefully they will report it and post pictures on my VTS Facebook page. Unfortunately, you must expect that someone may find your plant and never contact you or report it in any way. They just take it and go. Don't get frustrated, because you never know by who will find it or when it will ever be found. I guess to boil it down, my number one piece of advice for anyone planning to bury treasure is to prepare it to last 1,000 years or more. If you use a wood box, make sure it is of good wood and slather, and I mean soak it in wood oil. If you use a metal pipe, use non-corrosive metal, or always use Teflon tape on the threads. Plastic container like Tupperware, once again, consider its buoyancy. It's just so light and full of air. Always make sure to put your laminated, dated, and signed VTS card in there. And make sure to put it at the top in case any water ever gets in there. And most important of all, put into your burial what you want out of it. If you feel like I do, then you want to make a difference in someone's life. And while it may not be riches, it could very well indeed be a lifelong memory for that person, bringing a smile to their face each time they remember it. So do your best. The bottom line is that it's time to gather what you have to offer and just let it go. Stop hoarding. Just look all around at all the stuff in your inventory. Identify all the cool stuff you know in your heart that you will never use again, and just take it and bury it. And I guarantee you will feel good about it. Better when the finder reports it. So get out there and make it happen. That's all for today. End of report.